The basketball rolled right up to her feet and just sat there. Margaret looked down at it, and for a second she felt this weird flutter in her chest. She was 65 years old, sitting on a park bench in her comfortable grandma shoes and a cardigan. The teenage boys on the court were cracking up, not the friendly kind of laughing either. The mean kind. Yo, Grandma. This kid couldn't have been older than 17. Baggy shorts, hat backwards, that walk where you can tell he thinks he's hot stuff. You gonna toss that back, or are you planning to keep it as a souvenir? His buddies were already getting their phones out. Oh, great, Margaret thought. I'm about to be somebody's TikTok joke. She bent down and picked up the ball. The second her hands touched it, something just clicked, like muscle memory. 20 years disappeared, and suddenly she was holding something that used to be part of her. Actually, she heard herself say, standing up straighter than she had in God knows how long. Think I'll hang on to it for a minute. The kid's face. Man, if she could have taken a picture. Margaret hadn't touched a basketball in 20 years. Not once. After her knees finally gave up and 3 different doctors told her she was done, she'd walked away from the whole thing. No coaching jobs, no hanging around gyms trying to relive the glory days. She just stopped. Raised her kids, watched them grow up and have kids of their own, and settled into this whole grandma life. It was fine. Really. Quiet. Sure. Sometimes she'd catch herself staring at the TV during halftime thinking about what could have been, but mostly it was good. No pressure. No expectations. Nobody looking at her like she was supposed to be anything more than just Emma and Jake's grandma who made really good cookies. Her playing days felt like they happened to a different person. The Houston Comets. 3 championship rings sitting in a box somewhere in her closet. All-star games. Magazine covers back when women's basketball was just starting to be a thing people actually watched. They used to call her the magnet, because once the ball was in her hands, you weren't getting it back. Those were incredible years, but they were over, and she'd made peace with that, or she thought she had, until this cocky kid showed up with his phone out, and this absolute certainty that she was just some irrelevant old lady. Emma and Jake were on the far side of the court, pretending they didn't see what was happening. Oh no, Grandma's about to embarrass herself in front of the cool kids. She should just toss the ball back, sit down, go back to being invisible. But something about the way this kid was looking at her, like she was nothing, made something wake up inside her that had been sleeping for 2 decades. You know what? If you believe in never judging people by how they look, in respecting the generations that came before us, hit that subscribe button. Because what's about to happen proves that getting older doesn't mean getting weaker, and sometimes the quietest people have the loudest stories. Tell you what, Margaret said, and her voice came out stronger, like the voice she used to use when she was running plays. How about we play? Me and whoever wants to be on my team, against you boys. The laughter that followed was exactly what she expected. Tyler, that was the kid's name, actually bent over laughing. Oh man, are you serious? Grandma wants to ball? All right, this is gonna be hilarious, but we'll go easy on you. Don't want to be responsible for breaking a hip or whatever. More laughter. More phones coming out. I don't need you to go easy on me, sweetheart, Margaret said, walking toward the court. Just play your game. 2 younger kids shuffled over to be on her team. They looked terrified. One was maybe 13, skinny kid with braces. The other couldn't have been more than 12. First to 11, Tyler suggested, still grinning like he'd already won. First to 11 is perfect, Margaret said. She was bouncing the ball now. Just feeling it. The weight. The rhythm. It was all coming back. Let's start. For the first 30 seconds, it went exactly how everyone thought it would go. Tyler came at her aggressive. Her knees screamed, but she stayed in front of him. He passed it out, someone missed. The braces kid got the rebound and passed it to Margaret. And that's when things got interesting. The second the ball was in her hands, something just took over. 20 years of not playing vanished. She wasn't thinking anymore. Just moving. Tyler came at her trying to press. She did this crossover move she hadn't done since 2003, the ball going from her right hand to her left so smooth Tyler literally stumbled. The small crowd made this collective ooh sound. She drove toward the basket. Tyler recovered, tried to cut her off. She hit him with a spin move that put him on his butt, literally. Kid went down hard. The crowd noise got louder. Emma and Jake had stopped pretending they didn't know her and were watching with their mouths open. Margaret went up for the layup. Not high. Her knees wouldn't let her jump like she used to, but high enough. The ball kissed off the glass and dropped through. Her team went up 1-0. Lucky shot, Tyler muttered, getting up, but his smirk was gone. It wasn't a lucky shot. Next possession, Margaret stole the ball from him. Just reached in and plucked it away. She pulled up from 15 feet, form still perfect, and splashed a jumper. 2-0. The crowd was really getting into it now. People were recording. Emma had her hands over her mouth. Jake was jumping up and down, yelling, "That's my grandma!" Tyler and his boys started actually trying now. The joking was over. But it didn't matter. Margaret was in the zone. That place she used to go during big games where everything slowed down. She hit another three-pointer. Then she threw a no-look pass to the Braces kid for an easy layup. Then she blocked Tyler's shot so clean the crowd erupted. By the time the score was 8-3, Tyler had stopped talking entirely. He was sweating, breathing hard, looking at this old lady in a cardigan who was absolutely cooking him. "Time out," he gasped. "What the hell? Who are you?" One of the spectators, this middle-aged dude, started laughing. "Bruh, you don't know who that is?" He pulled out his phone and started reading. Margaret the Magnet Reynolds, Houston Comets, 3-time WNBA champion, 4-time All-Star, inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2015. He looked up at Tyler. "Bro, you just got schooled by an actual legend." The silence that followed was beautiful. Tyler's face went through about 6 different emotions. Then this dawning horror as he realized how many people had recorded him getting destroyed by someone's grandma. Emma and Jake ran over. "Grandma, you were in the Hall of Fame." Emma was practically screaming. "You never told us." "You never asked," Margaret said, smiling. Her knees were killing her, but she'd never felt better. Also, I was trying to be a normal grandma. Bake cookies, not show off. Tyler walked over, and he actually looked genuine. "Miss Reynolds? I'm really sorry. I was being a jerk. That was amazing. I've never seen anyone move like that." Margaret passed him the ball. "You're pretty good yourself, Tyler. Got good handles. Nice first step. But you rely too much on your speed. When everyone's fast in college, you'll need more tricks." She stretched her back. "Also, maybe don't assume people don't have skills just because they're older." Life lesson. Free of charge. The crowd started clapping. Real applause. Real respect. People were coming up asking for pictures, asking Margaret to sign their basketballs. This one woman, probably in her 50s, had tears in her eyes. "I remember watching you play. You were my hero. Thank you for this." Margaret hugged her. "Nobody's useless, honey. We just get quieter as we age. Doesn't mean we forgot how to be loud when it matters." Jake was showing everyone his videos. "My grandma just destroyed these high schoolers." Emma was Googling everything about Margaret's career, looking at her grandmother like she was seeing her for the first time. Tyler and his friends stuck around, asking Margaret questions about her career, about techniques. The cockiness was completely gone. He even asked if she'd coach them sometime. "I'm retired, baby," Margaret laughed. "My knees are gonna make me pay for this for a week. But I'll come by next Saturday, give you some pointers, long as you promise never to judge someone by their age again." "Deal," Tyler said immediately. "And I'm gonna delete those videos from the beginning." "That was messed up. Keep 'em," Margaret said. "Might teach you something about humility." An hour later, after Margaret had finally sat back down with an ice pack for her knees, Emma sat next to her. "Why didn't you ever tell us about all of this?" Margaret looked at her granddaughter. "Because being your grandma is more important than being famous. I got to live one amazing life already. Now I'm living a different one, with you and your brother. That's not less. It's just different. But you're so good still," Jake said. "Don't you miss it?" "Every single day," Margaret admitted. "But missing something and needing to go back to it are different things. I got my dream. Now I'm just grateful for this, for you two, for the fact that I can still embarrass teenage boys who deserve it." They sat there together, watching the sunset, Emma leaning against one shoulder, Jake against the other. Tyler's friends were still practicing, trying to copy the moves they'd seen. The video was already getting shared around, but Margaret wasn't thinking about that. She was thinking about how good it felt to be seen again after so long being invisible. How good it felt to show her grandkids that the people who love them have whole histories they don't know about. Everyone you pass on the street has stories. They've all been someone. They've all done things. And sometimes, just sometimes, they'll show you exactly who they used to be, if you're lucky enough to be paying attention. Have you ever discovered something about an older person in your life that completely changed how you saw them? Has someone you underestimated ever proven you completely wrong? Do you believe the fire inside us never really goes out? Share your stories. Drop a comment. Subscribe to Stories That Matter, because everyone's got a history worth knowing. And sometimes the most incredible people are the ones we walk past every day without seeing.